Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mia Dev Radio. We have Nilesh with us today. Hi, Nilesh. Welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. So,
Yeah.
Nilesh leads the Azure developer community in Mumbai. And Nilesh, I would like you to introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Nilesh Shinde. I'm basically from Mumbai, India. So professionally, I do uh, tech consulting with a consulting firm in India, where I serve banking organizations and financial organization to you know make more data driven decisions. And in my free time, as a passion, I do community building, that too particularly developer communities. I have been doing community management for last 4+ years now,
Amazing.
and that is how I try to give back to the society and help others to get ahead in their careers.
That's great, Nilesh. So, Nilesh, this is very exciting, and I want to know how did you start? How did you become the developer, and what's the background?
Actually, I have a formal education background in computer science. I have done graduation in IT and then masters in computer applications. So that's how I know tech, and that's how I am more aligned to the developer profile,
Nice,
academically and professionally. And I started my community journey in 2017 when I accidentally went to a event. A friend of mine called me to come to an event, so there I got to introduce I got introduced to the community, like what people actually do, and you can learn so many stuff, you can meet so many people for free eventually. So that's how I got interested in it, and then I started volunteering for tech groups. And now I'm at a stage where I manage four plus communities here in Mumbai and region, and that too different technologies, because I like to dabble around with different technologies as a consultant. So that's how I know a little bit about different technologies. That's how I started my developer and community journey.
that's amazing. So, to be honest, it's always the story that once you attend one community event, you're actually hooked up to that. It's about the passion
Yeah,
how we share it together. So
right.
that's great. You said you run four different technology communities in your region. So how do you stay updated and up to date on the latest technologies in that case? So what do you do for that?
Yeah, so basically, as a person, I personally it runs into my actual role as a consultant. So that's why I try to read more about what are the industry trends going on into my domain. What are the new things coming into finance domain. That I keep a track of it through my company newsletters and social media channels, what they are posting. And as a hobbyist, I do attend a lot of community events to get to know more new perspective about a particular technology. Most of the time it happens to be that I am organizing the event, so that's how I can get a lot broad perspective from
Yeah,
speakers also, and for from attendees also after the event while talking to them. So that's how I get updated about what people are using actually through that technology. Like, suppose you have a particular tech, but you don't know the use cases of it. So if you talk to 100 different people, you get a lot of different perspectives about using that tech and implementing into projects. So that's how I get the updated use cases of it, and that I try to use it into my work life. Yeah,
that's
that
nice.
is how
Actually,
it's done.
something sparked over here is you said that you interact with the people who attended the events, or usually this is where I wanted to understand what do you play, what part of role is do you play in the community, and how do you take care of this networking forward. So one of the examples which you said mentioned is 100% correct. So I'm facing an issue I go to this community event, we talk to other people of how this use case scenario can be implemented. So what do you think your role is right now, and how could the people who are attending this community sessions can benefit from that?
Yeah. So if you go by, the theory point of view, so I am the mediator between the tech and people in community events. I'm trying to facilitate, that tech to the people. I'm trying to, reach more people through the tech. Like, suppose, let's talk about Azure only. So I want to educate more people about Azure. That is what I am doing currently into Azure Developer Community Mumbai. And if you personally ask me, like, what I want to position myself as, so I am more on the technology side right now, that I want to organize events, and through that I want to learn new stuff. I want to learn what people are building with Azure, and how I can build on top of it, and how I can grow as a Azure developer or a architect. So that is what my perspective. I look for technical advancements work where I help others to, get this chance to learn about Azure and use it in their projects. So it's a two-way thing I do. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's very motivating for people who are watching this, because as you said, it's very correct. It's a two-way thing. You know, you learn, everybody learns in these kind of
Yeah.
events. So I want to know your experience here, Nilesh, is how building this community, and how is it possible to motivate more and more people to join the community? Because I personally feel that community is the way of keeping yourself up to date in the latest tech, right? How do we motivate people, or what exactly do you think is the key factor over here that people understand the value of communities over here?
Got it. So, according to my experience here in India, doing communities for 4.5 years now, into different regions, I think the major issue for community building is people are not aware about communities. Basically, the best time to engage in communities and doing community activities is into your college days.
Mm.
I started my community building in my college days when I was doing my masters. So there you have a little more time apart from your studies, so you can, uh, put that time into learning something new out of your curriculum. And this will in turn help you to increase your communication skills, soft skills, how to present yourself. These things will automatically improve when you start going to community events. But here, in many regions, people don't come across the idea of community in the early days of their college. They either get to know about communities very late, or maybe during their professional, life, where they are actually committed to a company, that they have to put some hours and, generate some value. So they don't get that much time out of their day to put into community events. Like, they, now it's better that they can attend online events. But
Mm.
I always prefer, if you ask me, that I always go to offline events more, because that is something which is excites me more, because I can ask any questions to anyone at any time. In online,
Yes.
it's a kind of moderated setup, so there it's only a one way communication, and maybe your questions gets asked, answered afterwards. So I think the awareness is the major part. Secondly is the communication about the value. Suppose you are a community manager, you should be able to communicate your value through your community events. For example, as a Azure developer lead, I want to communicate my value as a community manager, that I want to educate more people about Azure, that too for free, and I want to see them advancing in their career. That is what my value is. And in turn, I want to ask them about their experience, their learning journey, and I want to gain some knowledge out of it. So that is my simple and clear ask. So every community manager should be able to devise such, one or two sentence value for their community, that will actually attract more crowd, because that will be more understandable. Because when you see community as a new person, you actually don't know what is happening.
Correct.
So there should be something which can communicate to you, like what you can expect from this group, what can you expect from the particular event, what can you learn there. That is what I think important as a community manager.
So in the conversation, you said that the professional people usually don't give that much of time. So do you think that impacts their day to day job as well? So what I want to understand from you is, uh, shouldn't the professional developers spend more time than the students in the community? Because I think that is where the impact is more, because they are actually the ones who are working in the industry, and they are giving you the industry use cases. Students, I understand, we have more time to learn, but actually when you come to the industry, i uh, I want to understand from you, what would a developer do to spend more time as a professional developer rather than being a student in that case.
So when I now I have transformed from a student life into a professional life. It's been
Yeah.
two and a half years now. So what how I think of it now is, like, if I want to get better at a particular technology. Suppose I want to learn more about Azure ML, and I want to incorporate it in my particular project in my company. So that is the use case. So I will, firstly I'll go and search on Google, like what are the resources available, and I try to watch a lot of YouTube videos, boot camps and all. But I don't get the exact experience of using it unless and until
Yes.
I try it on a VM. Okay,
Got it.
by actually doing an example. When you go to a community, you get a ready made, you can say a workshop or a talk on a particular topic that you are interested in. So
Mm.
the expert person will actually walk you through the concept, and also show you by implementing it with a new technology. So you actually get the 360 degree view of that particular technology, that you can't do
Yes.
it on your own. And also, if you get any doubts, or if you want to have any more perspectives, like this technology can be used in what other scenarios, what what are the fine tunings I can do to make my model perform better. So these are the things that you try to learn with your peer community people. I started it as a volunteer, then I made a
Yeah.
group. So
Yeah.
we as a professionals, we attend events in a group, then we discuss on that topic, and that's how I learn from it when I go as an attendee. So professionals should also think in this way, that if you want to learn a topic, you can learn it on your own by spending a day.
Yeah.
But when you come into community, you can learn that topic into only 1 or 2 hours. So that makes a
Yes.
huge difference.
It gives you a good jump start in that case,
Yeah.
like to take care of
And
that.
also it provides a lot of resources. Like when you go to community events, you get some free credits to try on Azure. So that is also a plus thing. Yeah.
Yes. That's great. So this question has been bugging me a lot. Okay, and so it's a different perspective here. So I want to understand. So people do open source contributions, right? How open source contributions are different than developer communities? I feel both are same. Okay, which one do you think you have taken it and you are proud of?
Yeah, so basically, I'll give a brief, you can say a background about both of these things. So basically, as a developer, uh, we all are very good with tech. So that
Yes.
is our trait, you can say, that we are very good with technology. We understand many complex things that normal people can't understand. Okay, so you want to advance your career as a developer only. You want to get more expert in your technology, more recognized, and get good jobs in your career. So then your first option should be open source contributions that will actually showcase your technology, your technical knowledge, your understanding about solving problems and stuff. And if you are good with people, okay, so in my case I am good with both.
Mm.
I'm good with tech also, and I'm good with people also. But I lean more towards people because I like to talk to different people, understand their point of view. So there the community role comes, where
Okay.
you understand your technology in depth, but also you have a quality to communicate it to other people in the simplest language they can understand, and try to more people on board to join you as a member, or you can say as a community. So that's how you can grow your profile, and that will eventually help you when you go to managerial roles. In
Yes.
starting you can focus on your open source contribution, but eventually you have to do some people related roles, showcase your experience. That's how you will grow in your career. So that is a personal choice, I think. But if you want to grow technically, you should do open source contributions. And if you want to become a 360 person, like you can do tech also, you can do people management also, then I think you should go towards community management.
That's amazingly
Yeah.
said, Nilesh. Like, the perspective of how we actually approach both of them, it's amazing. So I love talking to you, Nilesh, and I wish we could have more time and to talk more about the community. But for our audience, I have a lot of resources. So please, so after this, I'll show you one QR code. Please scan this QR code and join our Azure community. Secondly, Nilesh runs the Azure developer community for Mumbai, and we have a Discord channel. You can go ahead and join the Discord channel, and I will also put Nilesh's LinkedIn profile in the show description. So please go ahead, connect with Nilesh if you need any support in terms of building a new community, getting your questions answered in the community. Nilesh is there for you.
Yeah, I can help you doing that.
Yes. So connect with him, and you have any questions, mention us in the comments. And it was nice talking to you, Nilesh. Thanks a lot
Thank you.
for joining us today. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone,
for having
and
me.
thank you, Nilesh. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.